Good afternoon, everyone. I want to, in particular, thank Greg Zenthalis for inviting me to be here today. I think the Multicoin family is incredibly lucky to have Greg on their team. He's incredibly well respected in all of the crypto legal circles. I'm not a lawyer, but I run in those circles, and delighted to be here. I also want to say that the Blockchain Association family is also very lucky because today I'm here to announce that Multicoin Capital has joined the Blockchain Association. So welcome to the 115 member companies that are working together to improve policy in Washington. We've been collaborating informally for some time now, Multicoin and BA. But now that the relationship is official, we've already been able to leverage the team's expertise and talents to influence policy in Washington. And I think that together, as an industry, we will continue to do the work that is needed to get the good public policy outcomes we all desire. Before I get into the policy dynamics we face in DC, I want to tell you a little bit about the work that we do at BA. Blockchain Association is a trade association, which means we are made up of member organizations, including crypto funds, projects, foundations, exchanges, who all have the common goal of good public policy. We facilitate collaboration among these organizations because, like with Greg, there are so many talented people in-house at these firms that have something to offer to the policymaking process. We assist our member companies in coming up with unified policy positions, which we then take to regulators, Congress, the White House, and even the courts in the form of comment letters, legislative text, and amicus briefs. We also spend a lot of time doing basic education about crypto with policymakers. And given the hostile environment we sometimes see in the media, we're working to shift the narrative in the court of public opinion. As you can imagine, we have a lot to do. But working together as a unified industry, we are well underway to tackling these issues, and I believe we are on a path to ultimately get this important work done. So let's talk about what's happening in government. Like with all new technologies, it is clear that the existing rules don't always work. And federal agencies and regulators are on the front lines when a new technology emerges. They have existing mandates to administer existing laws, and they sometimes work to provide guidance on how the new technology fits in. Some agencies have been good at this, like FinCEN and even the IRS to an extent. But other agencies, like the SEC and the CFTC, have been, less helpful. Instead of providing clear guidance, the SEC and now the CFTC have chosen a regulation by enforcement approach. And sometimes these enforcement actions are warranted because, after all, there are bad actors in every industry. But many times, these actions fall upon the good actors. And for many years, small firms had no choice but to settle when regulators come knocking. But now the SEC is going after big firms. And thankfully, large companies such as Ripple and Coinbase have the resources to fight back. On the flip side, Grayscale had problems with SEC inaction, so they decided to proactively sue. And what we're learning from all of this litigation is that the crypto industry lawyers are right and the SEC is wrong. At least that's how the court is reading it. So the courts have emerged as a critically important check on when agencies overstep their reach. But how do we actually get good policy, new policy, that makes sense for the nature of crypto? Well, that's where Congress comes in. And at the moment, Congress's attitude towards crypto is a bit of a mixed bag. But every day, the industry is educating more and more congressmen, senators, and their staffs, and over time, the number of crypto champions will outweigh the number of crypto skeptics in Congress. And we're already seeing this increased education translate to legislation. This summer, the House Financial Services Committee and House Agriculture Committee voted on a comprehensive market structure bill. This bill is not yet perfect, but the intent is good. And this is easily the farthest a comprehensive bill has made it through the legislative process to date. We're also seeing progress on a stablecoin bill, and there are high-level discussions currently ongoing to find a path to get that bill signed into law, hopefully by the end of this year. We do have some challenges, though. There are some in Congress who only know about crypto through the bad headlines. One of the top concerns we hear is the use of crypto in illicit finance, and there are several bills that have been introduced that aim to address these issues. The good news is the crypto industry has a good story to tell, and so far, our education has prevented any of these poorly crafted bills from moving forward. As you can see, there are many issues being worked on in many branches of government. If you follow crypto Twitter, there are days where you feel like we're winning and days like we feel like we're losing. But here's why I think we're ultimately going to win. First, the industry only recently saw the emergence of a sophisticated policy influence operation. For example, our internal team at BA has tripled in size in the past 2 years. So has our membership. Individual companies like Coinbase, who once had no one working on policy, now have a fully fledged internal policy team, thanks much in part to the leadership of Paul Graywall. Finally, we have a well-funded pro-crypto army, if anyone gets the Elizabeth Warren reference, on the ground in DC, and it is slowly making progress every day. Second, the politics of crypto have changed. We now have congressional and presidential candidates who are including crypto policy in their campaign platforms. Crypto users are calling and emailing their congressmen asking for sound crypto policy. This is something bank customers have probably never done ever for one of their banks. And crypto executives and investors are opening up their checkbooks to support pro-crypto candidates. This political engagement is an important tool because it helps lay the groundwork for better policy outcomes. And with each election, we gain more and more younger policymakers who value the crypto ecosystem and want to see it thrive here in the United States. Third, we will win because the law is on our side. Hostile regulators can't write new laws themselves, and when they try, the courts stop them. But even more than any statute, the Constitution is on our side. There's a First Amendment right to speech, and therefore code. There's a Fourth Amendment right to privacy, which should help preserve self-custody and DeFi. And there's a Fifth Amendment right to due process, which provides protection when agencies act without a fair and open proceeding. Investments in policy are like investments in new startups. You don't see returns immediately. But over time, as teams and capabilities are built out, you begin to see results. Crypto policy only recently received the level of investment that we need to win. And in the months and years ahead, this investment will yield more and more victories. Crypto companies and projects continue to build, and every day more consumers and businesses are coming to rely on blockchain-powered services. As this nascent industry becomes more mainstream, I am confident that policymakers will have no choice but to follow. I look forward to working with Greg, and Kyle and Tushar and the entire Multicoin team for as long as it takes to get the good public policy that the industry needs. And with that, it is my pleasure to yield the stage over to two other BA members, Rebecca Rettig with Polygon Labs and Paul Graywall with Coinbase. Thank you.